As we get older, we naturally become skeptical of the world around us. In fact, if we were to simply accept everything as is, our society would not be where it is today. Whether it's old legends or simple misconceptions about dietary practices, there are dozens of them out there, and you need to be aware of what's right and what's not. As you may know, intermittent fasting has grown in popularity over the last few years, and with such popularity, several details about this eating practice have surfaced, misrepresenting what it's all about. Are you on the fence about starting intermittent fasting but are afraid of a few myths that have traversed the internet? Not to worry, because today's topic will help clear up all the misleading details. Welcome back to the Good Health Gorilla. In today's video, we'll be going over 11 popular myths about intermittent fasting and debunking them in the process. If you're brand new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button and write in the comment section below any specific topics you would like for us to cover in the future. Number 11. Not having breakfast leads to weight gain. This is one of the ongoing myths about intermittent fasting, and it is by far the most popular. Most individuals believe that skipping breakfast leads to weight gain, cravings, and hunger. However, this is never the case as shown by one study. The 16-week study involved 283 adults with obesity and overweight. No weight difference was observed between those who had breakfast from those who did not. However, there can be some individual variability. A different study suggests that individuals who get rid of excess weight over an extended period tend to have breakfast. As a result, it is highly essential that you pay close attention to all your needs. Breakfast can be highly beneficial for some individuals, while others can go without having it and not face any adverse effects. Number 10. Intermittent fasting will slow down metabolism. Intermittent fasting and dieting are two different things, and the two have a unique impact on general physiology and hormones. When fasting, your adrenaline levels rise, which in turn boosts your metabolism and kickstarts the fat-burning process, aka lipolysis. It is this process that gave our ancestors the energy to look for food during famine. The whole process is different from eating a low-calorie diet that is associated with slowing down metabolism. If intermittent fasting were to slow down our metabolism, our ancestors, who were often subjected to prolonged fasting, would be fat and tired. However, this was never the case. They were lean and very energetic. Number 9. Intermittent fasting starves the body. Intermittent fasting is not starving. It is an occasional planned break of food consumption for a short period. In fact, the act is voluntary for wellness and health purposes. However, one major intermittent fasting myth is that it puts the body into starvation mode, hence shutting down the metabolism process. As opposed to intermittent fasting, individuals who starve often do so involuntarily. In fact, starvation often occurs when there is food scarcity, like during war or famine times. An extended calorie restriction can make one's body adapt to a lack of food intake and kickstart starvation mode. During this period, the body will severely reduce metabolic rate and use it as a survival technique. Since the act of fasting is voluntary, you will have the chance to choose when to eat, what to eat, and the amount you can eat. This is never the case with starvation. So, the next time you fast, don't consider it a punishment, but rather a healthy dietary practice for your wellness. Number 8. Intermittent fasting leads to muscle loss. According to individuals who believe this, the body burns and uses muscles for fuel. While this often happens with all types of dietary practices, no evidence suggests it occurs more during intermittent fasting than other eating practices. In fact, several studies have indicated that intermittent fasting is ideal for maintaining healthy muscle mass. One study showed that intermittent fasting leads to the same weight loss as a caloric restriction diet, but with the least reduction in muscle mass. A different study indicated an increase in muscle mass among individuals who consumed the recommended caloric intake per day in one sitting in the evening. Furthermore, intermittent fasting is a common eating practice among bodybuilders who find it helpful in maintaining muscle mass and low body fat. Number 7. Having 3 meals per day is better for our health. Some individuals believe that adhering to the standard pattern of consuming 3 meals per day along with snacks is ideal for your health and maintaining a healthy body weight. However, this is no longer the case. Instead, intermittent fasting has significant health benefits as opposed to having 3 meals a day. Moreover, having 3 meals per day along with a snack does not induce any physiological change in our body that will promote autophagy, which is the cellular repair process. However, intermittent fasting from time to time helps induce autophagy, allowing the body to recycle old cells and dysfunctional proteins. Autophagy is a vital process and it is associated with reducing aging, cancer, as well as neurodegenerative conditions such as Alzheimer's disease and Parkinson's disease. Several studies have even indicated that eating more often or snacking causes harm to our health and is associated with increasing the risk of several diseases. This means that intermittent fasting is far from being an unhealthy eating practice. On the contrary, intermittent fasting offers several health benefits that cannot be found in the traditional eating pattern. Number 6. Intermittent fasting leads to hunger and overeating. Eating is responsible for triggering hunger and overeating and not intermittent fasting. Indulging in modern food, high in sugars, artificial ingredients, and fats can be addictive. This means that if you're into modern food, hunger will be a victim to your insulin and glucose levels that surges and crashes throughout the day. As a result, you will not be in control of the food you consume. And if your food controls you, it's best not to start fasting right away. Start by cleaning up your current eating habits, and when your glucose levels start to stabilize, you will be ready to take on intermittent fasting. However, if you have a poor diet, the whole fasting process will become challenging and it will feel like torture rather than a great experience. With this in mind, you will find intermittent fasting a fantastic and relatively easy eating practice, especially when you indulge in healthy foods. Number 5. Intermittent fasting will lower your blood sugar levels. Usually during intermittent fasting, your glucose levels will stabilize, and as time progresses, you will improve incredibly and reverse insulin-resistant conditions such as diabetes. However, hypoglycemia or relatively low blood sugar levels is a precaution amongst diabetic individuals who use oral pills or insulin to lower glucose levels. In such cases, you will require close supervision by professionals and need to monitor your blood sugar levels closely when fasting. Aside from diabetic patients, intermittent fasting cannot lead to hypoglycemia. Number 4. Protein is required every 3 hours for muscle gain. Several studies have shown that consuming protein more often does not lead to muscle gain. Therefore, the idea behind eating protein after a couple of hours to increase your muscle mass is to fall. In fact, you can still gain muscle during intermittent fasting. Although the muscle gain will not be that high, this does not mean you cannot gain muscle while fasting. While consuming protein before and after workouts is helpful, the key is to eat sufficient amounts of protein in a day based on what your macronutrition requirements are. Number 3. The brain requires constant supply of glucose. According to some individuals, failure to eat carbs after a few hours will make the brain stop functioning. This myth is based on the belief that our brain only uses glucose for fuel. Nonetheless, our body can produce the glucose it requires through the process of gluconeogenesis. When fasting, our body uses dietary fats to produce ketone bodies that are then fed to the brain, reducing the brain's glucose requirement. This means that your brain can still function as usual even when intermittent fasting. Number 2. Intermittent fasting is too difficult. Yes, intermittent fasting can be challenging among newbies. However, most individuals agree that the practice is way easier than a traditional diet. In fact, this eating practice does not involve tracking your caloric intake, making it a more manageable and effective weight loss practice. Moreover, sacrificing through the process will yield countless rewards that you cannot enjoy in an old-style dieting regimen. In addition to weight loss, you will improve your immunity and reverse some diseases such as diabetes, along with other cardiac diseases. And finally, number 1, it does not get rid of toxins. This is a myth since intermittent fasting is highly effective in reducing toxic load and turning the body into a well-oiled machine. In fact, when fasting, you will be able to remove waste products from the body through autophagy. As mentioned earlier, this process is highly essential and ideal for the survival of each cell in the body and has been associated with a greater lifespan. Autophagy is one of the best benefits of intermittent fasting because it is a natural method of detoxifying the body. During this process, the body's cells will clean themselves and receive most benefits through intermittent fasting. If you're a newbie, you may consider taking products that will aid with the body's waste removal process, trap, and eliminate all toxins from the body. The main reason for this is that when you start fasting for the first time, your body might not handle all the toxins released into your bloodstream from the body fat. So, there you have it. There are many myths surrounding this eating practice, but they are simply nothing more than that. In all actuality, intermittent fasting is one of the most sustainable forms of eating that you can incorporate into your daily lives. Which of these myths surprised you the most? Share with us your thoughts in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed today's topic, check out this related video to see more. Until next time.